Hello YouTube, welcome back to my car. So, today we're going to be going over session 2 of The Children of Pelgan. This will be a session recap of my Within the Ring of Fire saga. Things have been pretty interesting, let me tell you. So, let's get into it right away. So right off the bat, as a little recap from last session, our daring catalysts, our characters, had rescued Cyrus, the son of Ellie. Ellie, who is one of our characters' mother. So, one of our brothers of the tribe was rescued from the clutches of the Mortuk. The Mortuk being a bear-boar hybrid creature created by Azidahaka. And they also encountered the Chthon. And there were 3 of these Chthon that they rescued as well. They fought with the Mortuk and killed them. And now they decided to camp for the night. Now, it was a pretty interesting session. I was feeling, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I wasn't feeling my A game today. Very disappointing. The problem is, I think I worked a little bit of overtime the last day. I was feeling a little bit more tired. I was really trying to bring my A game, but I think the problem was things weren't just not coming into my head. Normally, I'm fairly good at improvising. I've done a lot of prep for this session, but I don't know. It was hard for some reason, for things to come into my mind. But I did my best. So they decided to camp out next to the battle they just fought. I thought this was very strange. I described that 15 feet away, they're smelling the bodies of the Mortuk. The smell of defecation is pungent in the air. Urine is seeping out from these creatures as well, from their bladders. This horrific smell. And I don't know if the players just... I don't know what was going on with them, but they decide not to react to my description. I even repeated it twice. But, I don't know. I'm trying to drive home that point, but I guess they just didn't get it. That's fine. If they want to camp right next to decaying bodies, I guess they are welcome to do that. But regardless, they got a little surprise as a result of that. So, they camped the night, and in the morning, they set off back to the village. The long trek, several hours back to their village in another cavern. So, I did a little bit of time skipping, but they did do some really good job with their role play, I have to say. They role played the whole scene where they were trying to attempt communication with the Chthon. And that actually went pretty well. They made some progress with a lot of hand gesturing. We played out the whole scene where, the catalysts are trying to use hand gestures as well. Using some common words that they know. The Chthon know the names of some of the divinities, so they had that in common. They discovered that these creatures are indeed called the Chthon. They came to that conclusion correctly. They got the gist that the Chthon, something happened to their tribe, to the clan of Chthon, that they were destroyed by something called Azidahaka. They will soon learn what Azidahaka is. But they fled. These Chthon seem to have fled from this threat, and they were the only ones left. These 3 Chthon were the only ones left of their tribe. So now these Chthon are hoping to be protected by these humans. Well, honestly, the Chthon kind of don't expect this to go over quite so well, but honestly, as long as they stay alive, they are willing to do whatever it takes to stay alive. So they made a bargain with the party, again, through a lot of hand gesturing. They made a bargain, basically, to be taken back and inducted into the humans tribe, into the tribe of Nox. Now, what's likely going to happen is that they're going to be enslaved, but we'll get into that in a moment. So, the group had a great role-playing session there. They returned to the village, and the villagers, of course, the tribesmen and women, were terrified of these new creatures, this new species they've never encountered before. There's some good role-playing where they convince the villagers to at least hear them talk, not kill them outright. They met with the progenitor, Nox, the founder of their tribe, and the test of adulthood was basically completed. Each of the catalysts, each of the players, were asked by Nox to choose a role within the tribe. What will you do for humanity? What will your role be in the tribe? So, let's go through them. Unfortunately, Jessica was not here this session, so we had to make do without her. Hopefully we'll get back to her next time. As I think she did fantastic. I'm looking forward to getting her back next session. But Karketh, or Joe, really stepped up his game. Thanks a lot, Joe. You stepped up to your rightful place as leader of the tribe, and had some great role playing. Did a good job. But his character, Karketh, he described that he wanted to be the tribe's champion, which I thought was very diplomatic, because I know what Karketh really wants to do is replace Nox. But he said that he wanted to be the tribe's champion, that he wanted to lead the tribe from this area of desolation within the Bay of Tahul, return to the surface in glory, find more food, for the tribe is running out, find more food, and such. So, that is his role, the champion of the tribe. Next, we had Archer. Archer, of course, the innovator, the jokester. He said he was very badly wounded, but Nox met with him, and he said he wanted to be the protector. And what he meant by protector is the builder. So he wanted to be the protector of the tribe, to build up the defenses, to protect the people. So, that was good. Next we had Isaac. Isaac, the storyteller, the lazy. Isaac really surprised the whole group. He said something that no one expected. He said, I want to be the wise one of my tribe. I want to be the mystic. I want to study the ancient lore, the ancient religions. I want to study the divinities and learn about them. And everyone was, of course, shocked and taken aback. He's willing to step up and take a role in the tribe? And not only that, with something so unexpected, to be a mystic. No one even knew before he was interested in such things. But that's what he wants to be. He wants to be the new mystic of the tribe. Next, we had Voss. Voss the Scarred, the Damaged. Voss said, I wish to be a pathfinder. I wish to clear the way for my tribe, to find what there is to find, to see what is to be seen. And although Nox was reluctant, he's protective of Voss, and maybe he has some doubts that Voss can really do this, with being as crippled as Voss is. He still approved it. So, the group was brought in as official members of the adulthood of the Council of Adults, as Nox has called them. So now, the next order of business was the group got together and the council was convened. So at this point, I took a break. To be honest, I was getting a little bit frustrated at this point. Some of the group members were really stepping up, some were really lagging behind. I felt, again, I don't know if this is because I work night shift and the others work night shift, but let me tell you, I really tried changing the pace up. There wasn't any action in this session, but I really tried bringing it home this session, but I had not one, but 2 players fall asleep on me this session. I know. Unbelievable. I don't know if the couches were too comfortable. I don't know if I was boring them. I don't know if they're just working too much overtime, but unfortunately, 2 players fell asleep. Or were falling asleep. I'm looking at you, Rick. I'm looking at you, Travis. Shame on you. But I'm not going to be too hard on them, other than the fact that, I don't know what else to do to, bring their interest. I was trying my hardest. It was frustrating, but it is what it is. I'm going to move on from it. But it's hard to see that, especially, some players, again, falling behind. Some players really shining in this session. Again, Joe and Oren were doing a fantastic job. Even Travis was doing great at the beginning. So there was that. So at that point, I could tell they were all drifting off. We took a break. We came back to them. So at this council, some very surprising things happened. Social dynamics were changed. A great shifting happened within the tribe, and let's go into that. So, when we started off, Nox welcomed the new adults to the tribe, to the Council of Adults. They all met in private and discussed the secret that he has been hiding for so long from the children. And that is that horrible creatures, when the tribe was created upon the surface, they were attacked by reptilian creatures. They don't know this, but they are called the Sarush. And the Sarush are man-eaters. They eat sentient beings. That is what they're all about. They are anthrophagic. They will eat the flesh of the intelligent creature. But when the tribe of Nox was created, they lived upon the surface in perfect harmony, in happiness, living simple lives. But this was all torn away from them when 2 of the wives were killed and they were driven far underground. Nox brought this up and said, "The Chithan, they remind me so much of these horrible cold creatures that attacked our tribe and killed us, killed 2 of our men of our number, and scarred us so deeply." And he went around and asked everyone's opinion. What should be done about the Chithan? What should we do with them? And several opinions were brought up. Mira, the mother of Archer, the mystic, the shaman of the tribe. She was of the opinion that they should be driven away or killed, or both. Driven out and then killed. Doesn't matter. She couldn't stand them. She's so emotionally tied up with what happened to her best friend, to Viri, the deceased wife who died from that Sarush attack. She's too emotionally invested. She could not see reason. That was her opinion. Immediately, Karkith interjected and said, "No, you don't understand. They were here. The Chthon protected Cyrus." That's partially true, but he doesn't know that. They were protecting themselves, but they did step in and they did kill some of these horrible Mortuk. But he said, "No, we cannot kill them. We cannot drive them away. We need every ally we can get." There was some agreement. Silva, one of the wives, Travis, or Voss's mother, the beautiful wife, she said, "Yes, I agree. We need all the allies we can get." But there was a split amongst the wives on this issue. Some thought that the Chthon should be enslaved. They didn't say it in those words, but basically that was the meaning. They should be enslaved, kept under our heel, made sure that they do not harm us, these creatures. They're smart, they have their uses, but they must be underneath us and enslaved. That was the opinion of Jenna and Ellie, two Pelganite followers. However, someone unexpected stepped up. Hara stepped up and said, "No. Perhaps we will use these creatures, but perhaps not enslaved. Perhaps we should learn more about them before we rush to such conclusions." Hara, of course, is the mother of Oren's character, Isaac, the aspiring mystic. And Hara is like the organizer, the logical thinker. Although she is racked by deep anxiety, her family is somewhat of the black sheep of the tribe. But regardless, this was when Karkith stepped up and had an amazing... I'm not going to lie, it was fantastic. The best role-playing I've seen out of any player in the game so far, or out of this group so far. Karkith, Joe's character, stepped up, spear in hand, and said, "Men and women of this tribe, for too long have we dwelt within this place of death, within the underworld. Our food is running short. Our people are starving and will starve within a chain. It is time to leave. It is time to put the petty rivalry of the gods aside. Pelgan has clearly abandoned the tribe. He has not. If he was so powerful, if he cared about our tribe so much, why has he not stepped in and helped? We shall cast him aside for now. And he said even, I do not doubt that the divinities exist. I have seen their presence. But Pelgan is not one who is worthy of our worship. And no other divinity has also stepped and helped us. So we will be on our own. We will fight for ourselves. We will move upwards. We will return to the surface, to our home. And we will drive those who stand before us, and we will kill them, or enslave them, or gain allies of whoever we encounter. Even though we may be weak, with only 30 members, this is what we will do. And I will help to lead us to this glorious future. This speech was so good. So fucking good. Again, I was floored. He even had... Joe had written it out, like parts of it in advance. He had taken notes. He had a prop with him, an icebreaker shovel as his spear. He played his theme music. It was badass. It was so good. He's getting major XP for this. I was floored. Well done, Joe. So, he also has the ability Cinematic Flair. And although I didn't have him make a roll, I thought it was such a good speech and done with such fervor that I gave him... I basically, in my own mind, I said, if any of the wives are neutral on this issue, they have now switched to his side. If any of them were doubting, they have switched to his side. The only ones who stand against him are now going to be the ones that are very, very strongly opinionated. So his own mother is standing against him. She cannot believe that he has turned against Pelgan. But this is an inspiring speech that it actually inadvertently has broken the tribe in some amount of way. It has fractured the tribe. The leadership of the tribe is now in question. Knox was flabbergasted by this. Although he tried to agree, this power vacuum that kind of arose in this moment, this was a critical moment. You know, Knox could have stepped up, but Knox is flawed inside. Deep inside, he is cowardly. It is his one weakness. He is a coward inside. And not only is he a coward, but he is one who... he's really not as socially adept as he might come across. And he doesn't know what to do. He's in a moment where he's floored, and he starts to agree with he starts to actually agree with Karkith. But who comes up? Who takes the reins but Hera? Hera, the unexpected, the one that most of the tribe hates because of how gossipy she is and how anxious she always is. The organizer of the tribe, she steps up and says, enough is enough. Karkith speaks the truth. I have held it back from this before this time because I was trying to protect Knox and his leadership, but no more. We stand against Knox. No longer will we have a patriarch ruling above us. No longer will we bow to his word. We women will stand up for ourselves. We will take the reins of leadership as well. We deserve to be equals and to be heard in the tribe. And she thoroughly agreed with Karkith on what he said, that Pelgan should be cast aside. She is a Tehulian follower. Pelgan has never done anything for us. It is Tehul that is provided. And that is what happened. So Hara is she's very politically minded, and she has very cleverly placed herself behind Karkith, and perhaps is wishing for more. But we will see what happens with that storyline. But all of Knox, again, like this went an unexpected direction for me. But Knox deflated like a balloon. He very weakly tried to protest, saying, I never said that women couldn't have an equal role. but the air, had been taken out of him. The wind had been taken out, and his leadership is now deeply in question. Although he was always supposed to be the first amongst equals, perhaps he is not first anymore. So we will see. There's a major social change that is coming to the tribe of Nox. But he weakly tried to put off the issue and said, we will deal with it another time. For now, I think it is agreed that we will move the tribe. So next session, the tribe will be moving. We'll be relocating. We'll perhaps take upon the caverns of Tehul and move upwards towards the surface. However, at the very end of the session, that was where I ended it. However, I did hint at something that would be happening next. I time skipped ahead a bit and said to Karkith, you awaken, but something feels wrong. Your head is pounding. Sweat is dripping down your face and down your back. You feel chilled. Your sinuses feel pressured to the point of exploding. Mucus runs down from your nose and into your mouth, and you taste a bitter, horrid taste in your mouth. Your mucus even smells horrid. Your eyes, they burn, and tears roll down you willing them to. For he has a plague of Azedahaka spread by the Mortuk, a deadly, deadly disease that will spread amongst the tribe, for they do not know it, but one of the Chithan was bitten by a creature and is now infected, as is Vana and also now Karkith. And these people don't know anything about disease or how it works. So it is most assuredly, unless they quarantine it fast, they will be dealing with an outbreak of the weeping sickness. And we will see who lives and who dies through this horrible, horrible disease. It might bring the tribe low. Will they survive extinction? Who knows? But I think overall the session went well. This was a very role-play heavy session, which is the way I like it. Some of the players were struggling, but the XP, of course, will reflect it. We'll see who earns the MVP for this session. In my opinion, hands down goes to Joe. I think also Isaac or Oren did a fantastic job as well. I hope to have Jessica back next session, as she is a worshiper of San, and there will be some omens brought to her as this disease, this demonic disease, spreads amongst the tribe. She will have her moment to shine. I really hope we get her back. So if you have any feedback about these videos, if you like my style, if you think I'm doing a good job, let me know. And I'd love to continue a discussion in the forum, in the Raw Immersive Games forum. If you're not already on there, please get on there. You're probably all on there. But it should be interesting to see what happens next session in The Children of Pelgan. Join me next time.